and the day starts out with a bang. I'm starting the day out from Early Beach and I'm making my way to the other side of the Conway National Park. So if you're keen for a little bit of an adventure, have a look at what this hike is all about, come and stay with me and follow me along this gorgeous trail.
Jenny.
And I'm Sasha. We are full-time travellers and film our adventures across Australia. Together we take you to some of the wildest and remotest places this country has to offer. If you like adventure as much as we do, stay tuned, you're about to be blown away. Welcome to Wild World Adventures.
Wild World Adventures, here we go.
G'day guys, and welcome to another episode of Wild World Adventures. Today we're off to the Conway Circuit hiking trail, which is in the Conway National Park up here in the Whitsundays. I've already started my hike. I've done my fair share of sweating this morning already. I started this hike out in Early Beach, which is on the coastal side, and then I make my way to the other side of Conway National Park, which is about 28 kilometers. In terms of elevations, I think maximum peak is about 500 meters, 450 meters. So I'll be climbing about 450 meters once, pretty much up. A couple of hills in between there. Total ascents, I think, is about 1,000 meters if I'm not mistaken. You can do this trail either on foot or by mountain bike, and it's pretty well maintained.
The Conway Circuit takes you on a 28-kilometre journey through rainforest covered mountains with stunning views over the Whitsunday Islands. I start in Early Beach and follow the trail to the second campsite at Repulse Creek.
So, as you can hear, I'm super exhausted. I just made my way up the hill, or at least most of it, I hope. The trail was fairly good, so I saw a couple of people walking past here. There is a lookout up here called the Honey Eater Lookout. It's not a super steep incline, but it is constant going up. So I would probably recommend to do it the other way around if you're doing this circuit or this track hike. Start on the end and then come to here. Just morality wise, it is good to walk towards something nice always. So yeah, you got the lookouts on the end. Apparently the rest of the trail, other than this part here, is not very scenic, so there's not many lookouts in between. There is Mount Hayworth, a lookout I'll try to actually go to in one of the other episodes. I'll put a link up here if you want to see that, where I showed you guys a little bit about how I navigate off the trail. This time we're staying on the trail for most of it, and we're going to a campsite, a national park campsite, which you have to book in. And from there I'm going to explore off the trail again. I don't expect many people doing this trail, particularly because we had a lot of rain in the last couple of days. So it's just cleared up today, and I've made a quick decision to come. Jenny couldn't make it. As you know, Jenny's not too keen on a rainforest anyway. Doesn't like the leeches, so I'll be doing this one on my own. Alright, that's pretty cool. We come across some water tanks up here on the hilltop. If you remember back on our hike in Litchfield, put a link in the description above, there was no water tanks at all, and we did run out of water, but we almost struggled to find water along the track, which was I think 40 something kilometers. So we're on top of the mountain ridge that leads to Mount Hayward now. To the left of me is Chute Harbour, Jubilee Pocket and the Whitsundays. You can't see them just yet, but hopefully we're going to reach a spot where there'll be a break in the forest canopy and we'll be able to show you that beautiful coastline here. Now this is a fantastic way to show you guys the difference between the higher hill terrains, the higher elevations. We're about 400 something meters up from sea level, and this is really good rainforest up here. Now, this is the first time I've actually seen it like that, because a bit lower when I was exploring the coastal areas and even some of the islands, the vegetation wasn't as thick. The canopy layer was quite low, so you sometimes only had 1 or 2 layers. Up here it's a lot more humidity. And how that works, even though we're only, a couple of 100 meters away from the more arid and more sort of scrubby country, it's something that's called cloud stripping. Up in the higher elevations, what the rainforest does, it actually takes most of its water needs from the clouds, and it strips it, literally strips it. So as the clouds move over the forest, condensation builds up and then runs down the leaves and trees into the ground. And so you see this all super wet. As we now go into the valley on the other side of the mountain range, I expect to see even more rainforest, because what will happen is the water gets collected up here and then runs down the slopes, collects in the valley, and sort of builds almost like a micro little weather pattern. I've seen this in other parts of tropical areas, on islands for example, where some parts of the islands were more moist than others, and that's because the mountain ranges, as the wind comes in, depending on where the majority of the winds come from, they get pushed up. They hit cooler air up on the high elevations, cool down, and then rain down on the other side. So I'm not quite sure how the weather patterns work here over here yet, but I'm pretty sure it's something similar to that. Check him out. Goanna. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now the rainforest I'm walking in here belongs to the oldest rainforest on Earth, believe it or not. It used to all be connected to the rainforests in Asia, Indonesia, India, and this all used to be one big continent and had a massive rainforest. And I believe that even during the ice ages about 15,000 years ago, this area was never covered 100% in ice. So it was cold, colder than it was now, but it still had a forest. And that's how a lot of plants and animals survived in that cold period. And this is the remnants of it. Still a continuous ecosystem for that long. And this is what we're walking through here now, so it's amazing. have arrived at one of the two camps, the public camps that are along this trail. This one's called Bloodwood Camp, and it's just down here. Let's go check it out. Ta-da! The old long drop. There's two trails now. One trail here, one trail there. Weird. Let's go the one that goes into the thickest forest first. What's in here? I see. I see. Here is another campsite. Makes sense now. Not a bad spot, actually. This one has lockable trunks, which is actually quite cool to have. This is the first time I've seen this. I just put these trunks up here, nothing in it. See? It smells a bit rough. This one's got a bit of water ingress. But yeah, look, you can put your bags in there and don't have to worry about the creepy crawlies getting in there. Another campsite. But I've got to tell you what I'd be struggling with here is to find trees to hang up my hammock. Maybe this one would be alright. Yeah, here we go. There's one. So open spaces are good, but that's only when you're packing a tent. And when I go solo in the jungle, I'm not a big fan of tents in the jungle because very rarely you find even ground. That is if you go remote anyway. And I always want to be up on the ground. Just gives a more comfortable feeling, you know. Being on the ground with all the humidity and moisture, and you got God knows what crawling around there. So I personally prefer the old hoochie set with a hammock. Wow, this is really cool. There's awesome spots here. Look at that, another one here. That's amazing. Done this really good. Well done, guys. Beautiful. Let's see if I can find my way back out of here again. So there's plenty of spots here for many people. It was like, counted like what, six campsites here, plus the big one, so. Wow, how good is that? So what you see down there on the far left there, that's Airlie Beach Harbour. And down here, this little pocket, that's called Jubilee Pocket. That's actually where we live at the moment. And that is one of the few obstacles that I've had. This trail is super well maintained. Well done, guys, from the National Park. Very, very nicely maintained. Gone. He's disappeared as soon as I looked. A black snake, nah. I didn't get a close look at it, but it could have been a rat-bellied black snake, which is super venomous. That thing is deadly, and he's actually, I think, one of the 10 most dangerous snakes in Australia. The other one I'm thinking of is a small-eyed snake. Small-eyed black snake, which is also poisonous. Either way, you just want to leave them alone. Check this out, another one. He scared the hell out of me. This boy was just sitting right here. He's looking at me like, who are you? And I'm looking at him like, nice to meet you, mate. They are beautiful, beautiful creature. He's in the move. That's the third one now I've seen. And this one was just literally behind this rock and scared the living daylights out of me. So the wildlife here is pretty fantastic. I would have thought that more wildlife would have been further down the hills, more closer to the water. But given the recent rains, maybe that's what's driving the animals a bit further up the hill. See you, mate. There's another one. Amazing. He's trying to hide. So we got to another tank area, water refill area. Let's just see where we are. It's amazing how many water tanks they got here. And so good, eh? Oh, so we're close to Mount Hayward Lookout. How cool is that for you guys? What you see over there, the island in the middle there is South Mole. And behind there is Whitsunday Island. Well, it's time to have some lunch now. Enjoy these awesome views and tuck into a bit of noodle soup. Usually don't do much for lunch, and if I can, I try not even to boil anything. But it's a bit of last minute dash to the shops. I didn't get that much. Got a bit of noodle soup, which is always a nice warmer. I don't know, even if it's hot, you have something nice and warm and just fills your stomach a bit more, I reckon. I don't know if you guys got any good ideas of what to do for lunch when you're out hiking other than your instant noodles and porridge and whatnot. Put it down there in the comments, man, let us know. It's always good to get a bit of an idea from other people. I don't know why today I brought a 2-in-1 spread. It's ridiculous. It weighs nothing. I don't even know why I bought this thing. Now I want to use the spoon and I've got to touch the greasy bit. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Campsite, that's where I'll be spending the night, and that's about 7.5 kilometers from here. So let's go. water tanks, toilets. I know where to put my hammock. So it looks like this is not the only campsite. There must be another one a bit further down from here, so I'm just going to check that out. Looks like there's also a way to the creek, which will be nice. And hopefully I can find a place to string up my hammock, because here it's definitely a no-go. Just found a little trail off to the side, and they got these little rainforest nooks here as well. Now I just got to find one that actually suits a hammock. It's amazing how they did this. So cool. Got privacy. Good trees. I think that's us. Just gonna unpack here. Unfortunately, there is no campfires allowed in this national park. I'm not quite sure why, because it is rainy season on the end. In the jungle, a campfire is what keeps the pests away usually, so not having one, yeah, it's a bit of a downer. I thought I might show you guys a bit of new kit that I got. I've only tested it once now. Tonight's going to be the second night. That is my new hoochie setup or hammock setup from Alton Goods. And might as well show you my whole sleeping kit out for the jungle, because it's not a lot. That's it. That includes everything. That is my hoochie, my mosquito net, my hammock, and my sleeping gear. Everything. That's it. Weighs about maybe 4 kilos. That's it. I'll show you how I set it up, and I'll show you what's in it now.
This is also a new addition which I haven't had before, a climate lightweight sleeping mat. A sleeping bag liner just in case it gets cool at night. An inflatable pillow. Next is my sleeping bag from Snackpack. This is a jungle blanket with a built-in mosquito net. Packs up super small. Then I have the ultra lightweight hammock kit. This is a huge improvement from my old setup that came in a lot bigger and heavier. It consists of a hammock, mosquito net, a tarp, and it also has some lightweight head pegs and some additional rope. That's it, and that's really all you need.
Alright guys, I set up my hammock in the back here. That's the Alton Gut hammock and Hoochie set. I'll show you. I'll show you inside. There you go. That's my night's sleep tonight. Got a light sleeping bag in here and just a liner, thermal liner, just in case it gets cold. And it does get cold in the jungle, believe it or not. And I've got a little thermal rest. What I do usually, or what my routine is when I'm out in the jungle, once I got my shelter set up, which usually takes priority, I go check for water and make sure I got enough food and everything, sort of the important bits. Know where I am, know what the weather is going to be, if I can check it. Then I'll put up a bit of a maintenance thing. I'll dry up my clothes after I had a shower. I'll put my boots up. Usually I actually make another line, if I can, underneath the tarp. It just prevents the water from getting into it. Even though I have a dry kit and a wet kit, so that's my wet kit there. What I got on now is my dry kit. My dry kit usually never gets wet. I'll protect that very much. Wet kit always stays wet, but tomorrow there's no rain forecasted, so I'll try to keep it as dry as possible. It just makes it a bit more comfortable when you put it in the morning. And that's about it. And then I'll put everything in the hammock that I need, flashlight and sort of stuff like that. Just get it all tidied up. Camp routine I think is very important. When you're by yourself, it's a bit easier. When you're with other people, you want to allocate certain pee spots and washing areas and where you collect water, especially when you're collecting water out from the river. You want to make sure that your washing up area and your showering areas downstream from where you collect water. Just little bits and pieces like this, and then I organise my backpack, get it all ready, tidy it all up. Obviously these little tables here help a whole lot from keeping it off the ground. Otherwise I would highly recommend keeping these things off the ground. Tie them up to a hammock or tie them up to a tree, because centipedes and spiders love sort of dark places like that. And they'll crawl in there, and then you try to get through your stuff, and then they bite you, and it's no good. You're not having a good day then. Another cool thing I found in the jungle is this stuff. Maybe tonight is actually not that bad because we had suns coming out, but when it's been raining and you've been wet all day, you got a bit of chafe and things. And this is my dry powder, man. It's so nice to, before you go in the hammock, powder yourself down. Makes you feel, smell good, and you're all dry. You have a good night's sleep, man. It really works, baby powder. Anyway, I'll go and cook up a meal now. I'll see what I got in a tucker box. I've got my little jet boiler. I can't have a fire here, obviously. That's about it for me tonight, and I'll hit the bunks. I'll be up tomorrow morning early, and then we'll start exploring around a little bit this little Repulse Creek. I'll see you there, I guess. Alright, it's the next morning. I've already packed up. Just gonna have my breakfast, which is only a muesli bar, and I've bought myself a cup of coffee. After this, I'll be hiding my big pack somewhere in the bushes, and then I'll be exploring the creek a little bit further downstream. Now this creek joins with another creek and then leads onto the ocean. It is a fair bit of travel, and I haven't got my belt kit with me today, so I'm packing very light gear. I want to see how far I can go anyway, and just have a look around and show you guys what the river is like. Yeah, unfortunately I can't go too far. It is almost 9 o'clock now. Spent a bit more time than I should probably this morning, and I want to make sure I'm back here by at least 12 o'clock. So I've got about 3 hours, which gives me an hour and a half walk downstream and then an hour and a half walk back. So let me have some breakfast, and then I'll see you down at the river. Alright, we're back at the creek now, and beautiful day today. Sun is shining, beautiful. I've got to find a place to park my rucksack. See if I can find a spot over here.
Right, from here on out, it's gonna be on light gear. Packing really little. All I got is a knife. I've got my phone as a GPS device and a little safety PLB. That's it. Oh, and I've got a water filter. I'm not even carrying a water bottle, guys. That's because I don't have a belt or a backpack. Small one anyway. Beautiful is this little creek. If you like this sort of stuff and want to continue following me as I do my adventures through remote areas, please consider subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell button so you get notified when I'm out and about again. Thanks for watching so far, and we'll continue down the creek. Check out this palm tree up there. How cool is that? Just sticks out. There's a lot of these bungalow palms around around this creek. It's amazing. This is the first creek I've actually seen this here in Queensland. I don't know if that's anywhere else. They're normally in front of people's houses, and here they grow wild. Nice. There's a huge eel in the water. Alright, that's as far as I can go today. I've walked about an hour and a half now, and it's time to return back. If I make some time good, I'm gonna go to another creek and have a look at that one as well. So I just don't want to be too late, particularly because I have no reception here and I can't call Jenny and delay anything. She's picking me up on her lunchtime anyway. I reckon she's gonna be slightly cranky when she picks me up.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do.
And this is probably a good time to talk about the right footwear to wear when you're going on these expeditions or on these little hikes. We bought these 511 hot weather boots. They're called Atlas, up in Darwin when we stayed up there. And it's actually very difficult sometimes to find hot weather shoes. And you're probably asking what's a hot weather shoe or a hot weather boot. Besides the fact that they obviously don't get too hot. So they're meant to cool your feet down in hot temperatures, and especially in the desert. No, they became very popular, or they became very known, I should say, when during the Iraq War. Just because so many of them were manufactured. Different designs came out, different people started making them. They're very, very popular before that. Now the main difference between these shoes and normal hiking boots is they let air circulate a lot easier. They're a lot lighter, and they have these air vents, as you can see here, those two air vents. Now I like to use these hot weather shoes in the jungle because there is not many boots made for the jungle. There is one particular set it's been used for ages since I can remember, and I've had about 5 or 6 different, even more sets of them. They're the old Tama jungle boots. They're the most terrible wearing boots ever. If you've ever had a pair of jungle boots on, oh my god, they're terrible. They take ages to break in, they're painful, they're heavy, but they do last. So that's one benefit they really have. I've really worn those boots to the brink, like till they had holes in them and they were still going. So they're a tough boot, they weren't expensive, there are a couple of knockoffs available of them, but let's not go there. So we tried these ones, 511s. Like I said, we found them in the shop and we tested them out on the tabletop track. I'll put a link in the description up here if you want to watch that video and you see how they perform over there. What I probably didn't show you in the videos is that they actually failed on the end. They were really comfy to wear. They're the most comfortable boot I've ever worn, no lie. But they've failed, and where they failed is the boot, the sole here, and you can see it happened again. Now when we bought them in the general store in Darwin, and these guys were awesome because they just exchanged them straight away for a new set. I said we were going down here to Queensland. They're super hard to find. I don't like to order boots online because you don't know if they fit or not. So I was like, can you give us a new set, and we'll hope that it doesn't happen again, because it shouldn't happen, you know. And yep, they were really good. These guys gave us a new set without a big questions asked, you know. And we try them again. So here we go. This is my 3rd hike with them now, and it's happened again. Not good, 511. That's not good. Another thing they have as a benefit is that stitching in the front here. I really like that. It doesn't squeeze your toe very much, so you've got a lot of foot space in there. I can wiggle my toes, there's a lot of space in here. It's got these lace locks here, so that just prevents that from coming back. That's really good. And then inside we've got two inserts. One is your normal sole, foam sole, and the other one is what they call the Atlas system. So this is meant to support your foot when you're carrying heavier loads, and it's fairly rigid. It's made out of some sort of plastic layer. It actually does work. So my foot is not tired with this system. So they've done well. They've got a really cool kit here. It's just the sole that's got to be worked out, because that's not good at all, eh? Otherwise, yeah, I really love those boots. Now, I can really recommend using a hot weather boot when going through the jungle, just because of the water you'll be taking. If it's raining, your boots are going to fill with water. You're going through water, you're going to get wet feet regardless. You need a boot that dries out. Now, with hiking boots, that's not the case. They are usually waterproof. or they have no way of venting your sweat out or your air inside the boot, and that can cause tinea, it can cause fungal infections, and your feet are the most important thing when you're hiking, so you do want to look after them. At night time, I usually put powder, that baby powder I showed you earlier. I'll put that on my feet to dry them out even more, and I'll take everything out of these boots and then let them sit in the sun wherever I can. But that's what I'm going to do here now. I'm going to put them in the sun and I'm going to show you guys how long it takes for them to halfway dry. So that's my little hiking tip when it comes down to boots and jungle. Right, look, the shoes are not 100% dry. I've had them out in the sun for about half an hour or so, but they are not wet. They're not soaking wet, so definitely benefit of those again. They dry up pretty quickly. Alright guys, this is the little creek that I was going to explore further downstream. So this joins together with the other creek I was just exploring. Fortunately, I'm running out of time. I only got half an hour to spare. I don't want Jenny to wait for me at the car park, so I'm gonna have to leave it here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you do, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you like to see more of this sort of stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the trail. It's a beautiful walk, Conway National Park. Give it a go if you're here. You can do it in 2 nights, 3 days, or you can do it like I did in 1 night and 2 days. You could do it all in 1 day if you wanted to. You don't need to carry that big backpack. I would really recommend do it 1 night. Those little jungle nook campsites are fantastic. Have a good one. See ya.